Channel's Ramadan on the Road team visited UK-based charity Helping Households Under Great Stress. We spoke to the beneficiaries' manager, Yusuf Patel, about his experience in Ramadan, catering to the needs of the beneficiaries and how it affects him.
My name is Yusuf Patel, and I work for a charity called HHUGS, which stands for Helping Households Under Great Stress. And at HHUGS, I'm the beneficiary support manager, which means I support the work, or I manage the work around providing support for the needs of our beneficiaries and our 170 beneficiary families that we've got that we support.
I will never forget that day, November 20th, 2004, the day my world changed.
Lola?
Mama, are they going to take you away?
Habibti, no. Subhanallah. I'm not going anywhere. Inshallah, Abi will be home soon. Okay?
Okay.
Your bank account has been frozen. We have nothing. What are we going to do? Should I call Farid?
No, there is no need to call Algeria. You mustn't. My family, your mother, they will all be worried sick if they knew. It's my problem.
But he is your brother. He will help.
No, I told you, don't call my family. They don't need to know. I have to go. They're calling me.
Come here, Leila.
Hello? Mrs. Amiri? This is the attendance officer. Layla hasn't been at school for 4 days. Could you open the door, please? Look, if her absence continues, the school are going to serve you with a fine. We will be back again. You've got to contact the school.
Layla has to go to school. Call Muhammad's wife. He will help. He will do the shopping or pay for a taxi for you. I have to go. It's lock-up time. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.
Mama, there's nothing to eat. When's Abby coming home? When's Abby coming home?
I don't know! Oh, Leila, come back. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Subhanallah, what am I doing?
Beneficiaries generally face many difficulties. Families face many difficulties anyway. And Ramadan adds to some of the worries and some of the difficulties that families face. And I always think about myself. Imagine if I was in their situation, my wife was in their situation, and I wasn't there with the family in Ramadan. And although that's a problem for the whole year, in terms of the mother has to then look after the children, take care of all their needs and almost act as the mother and the father, but in Ramadan it's much more of a painful time. Imagine waking up for suhoor with that empty chair at the dinner table, without the father there. Throughout the day the father's not there while the children are doing their fasts in Ramadan. Imagine, especially at the iftar time, where all the families getting together and eating together, breaking the fast together, but then the father is not there. So the children and the wife feel as though something's missing. A part of their family is missing. And so the usual sweetness of Ramadan, the celebration, the happiness that Ramadan has come, almost brings additional pain for those families because it reminds them that somebody in their family is missing. HHUGS provides emotional, social and practical support to families that have been impacted by anti-terror legislation. So usually that means somebody in the family, whether it be a father or a son or most cases a husband, has been taken away under anti-terror legislation. And one of the problems is that families in this situation have not only got to come to grips with the absence of the father or the son or the husband, but also the stigma of the community in relation to where the father is. And sometimes the other people, the families, the wider family or friends blame the family. So the family almost are undertaking the same prison sentence as maybe the husband or the father or the son. And so that's one of the difficulties that families face.
Don't worry, my name is Khadija and I'm here to help your mum. Can you give her this for me? Tell her to call me and I'll call her straight back, okay? Okay.
After hardship comes ease. After hardship comes ease. That's what Auntie Khadija would remind Mama. And she was right. From that day, 10 long years ago, things slowly started to change for us. They soon became like family. From the food vouchers, to helping with bills and warm clothing, to the brothers who took us on long drives every Saturday to see Abby in prison, and the aunties who took me to school. For the past decade, HHUGS were a ray of light in the darkest days of our lives. Before Khadija, Mum would not meet anyone or go out, but she encouraged Mama to see a counsellor. And making friends from coffee mornings, Mama became stronger, more confident. Auntie Khadija would take me to the park.
Your voice sounded like elders.
And with her help, my reading improved. Once Mama improved her English and started to learn how to drive, they helped me to learn the Quran and paid for my kickboxing classes every month. A family without a father is very hard. Every occasion, I'll remember Abby, especially Eid. Even the simple things they'd do made a massive difference. And as time passed, with the help of tutors, I got excellent grades in my GCSEs and made Mama so proud.
Ramadan is always a time where it's a time of cliches, and you say things and you think that's a cliche, but it's so true. You say 5 days of Ramadan have already lapsed, and you start thinking, what have I achieved during these few days already that have passed? Have I read enough Quran? Have I prayed enough nafila salah? Have I grown? Have I tried to be more patient than I usually am? And so those searching questions usually come to me, and I start to ask myself whether I'm doing enough. And obviously you're never doing enough, but you hope, inshallah, that the small things that you're doing, the small things that you're doing consistently will try and ensure that you achieve some level of success or some improvement during this month, inshallah. I think one of the first things I'd say is to really think about the people who are not in as fortunate a situation as you are, and really contemplate on what life could be like. Yeah, you personally could be in prison during this month. Your family could be without you during this month. So really think about this month and think about being really grateful for all the things that we have, all the things that we take for granted, our freedom, our ability to break fast with our families, our ability to attend the masjid whenever we want, the ability even to help other people during this month and giving charity to other people. So really one of the things I would say is really be grateful and every day think about all the things that we have, all the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us and things that we overlook, and take advantage of all the benefits, all the ni'mah that He's given us, the things that we can do, the change that we can make to other people's lives, the change that we can make to our own lives, the educating and the coaching of our own families, the tarbiyah that we can impart to our own children during this month. Not only from teaching them, but also from our family looking at us as role models for them to try and live up to and look up to. Think about those things that we can do during this month to strengthen our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Quran that we can recite, the Quran that we can try and understand more of, to connect with the revelation of the Quran that was revealed within this month. Just think about all of the small things, small objectives that we can achieve during this month that things that which we can continue after the month of Ramadan, and try and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah enables us to carry on that which we have achieved during this month outside of Ramadan, inshallah.
Abu Hurairah reported that the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, "Whoever fasts Ramadan out of faith and in the hope of reward, his previous sins will be forgiven." Ramiz Ibrahim is a psychotherapist and hijama practitioner in the East End of London. We visited him at his clinic to ask about health in Ramadan. He offered some invaluable advice on what foods to avoid and how to get the best out of Ramadan.
The remaining 3 weeks, if you're not already upping your game, that's what you should be doing for the next 3 weeks. So the first is like, I heard someone say the first 10 days, I'm not going to go for the first 10 days is, this is forgiveness and whatever, that's weak hadith. But what I'm going to say is that I've heard the easiest analogy say the first 10 days is where you plant the seed, the next 10 days is you water it, and the last 10 days is you reap it. So you can, based on that principle, you can do the same. You haven't upped your game in reading Quran, that's where you have to start. If you are praying Tarawih, but you're not praying your 5 daily prayers, there's a bit of issue there. It's like those brothers who just pray Jum'ah, for example, and you ask them, why do you pray Jum'ah? And they say it's fard. Well, let's leave Islam for a second. Based on your principle of fard, what about the 5 daily prayer? Oh, brother, make dua for me, I'm lazy. And that's ridiculous. You don't ask me to make dua for you to eat and sleep, have children, and etc., etc. But you want to give Allah half an hour of your 24 hours that Allah gives you to live by, you find difficult. And that's like saying to Allah, Allah, I know you said 5 times, but I'm going to give you Friday, and inshallah that's enough for me, And you can take that how you like, really, and it's not a joke. You're taking the mickey of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are, you're playing with your akhirah, and we all play with our akhirah in sins. We all sin. Leave that aside. Every son of Adam makes a mistake, and the best of those who makes a mistake is the one who makes tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm talking about the basic pillar of the 5 daily prayer. If you leave that, that's the hablillah, that's the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You leave that, Allah will leave you. Jum'ah is not enough. You're starting your own religion. Now, don't want to get into some kind of hukum here or whatever it is. You've started your own religion. If you meet Allah just praying Jum'ah, Allah help you. If He helps you or not. Allahu A'lam. So up your game, praying 5 times a day, read Quran. Don't forget to, Tarawih, obviously, try and pray in Jama'ah if you can. If you can't, then do it at home with your family. But try to do as much as you can. Give as much charity as you can this month. Obviously, Shahr Ramadan, Shahr Quran, the month of Ramadan is the month of Quran. And this is what you have to think about. Quran, 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 Quran. And I will guess that if you're a person who doesn't read Quran regularly before Ramadan, you find it difficult to read Quran during Ramadan. But you're getting reminded left, right and centre. There's a lot of channels out there that's reminding you, a lot of brothers and sisters who are reminding you. So up your game. Even if you do 1 page a day, but do it. This is what we call, if you can't do something big, then in its entirety, don't leave it in its simplicity. Just try. If you manage to read 1 page a day, read 1 page a day, okay, and reflect on it. It's better to memorize and reflect and practice 1 ayat of Quran, than it is to read 10 pages and haven't got a clue what you've read. Okay. What else can we say? I mean, look, I feel like sitting here and I'm giving a cliche. Read Quran, pray 5 times a day. Those of you who are just praying Tarawih, not praying 5 times a day, you've got to back up your ideas. And that's all I can say. I mean, this is a serious matter on the prayer. You go to the masjids, and the masajids are full. But you never hear the imam give a 5-minute talk. And those of you who are doing Tarawih, it's not just a month where you just up your game and leave it after Ramadan. Those of you just praying Jum'ah is not enough. It's up to Imam, the shepherds, to really, up the game of themselves and up the game of the sheep.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. ولو أننا نزلنا إليهم الملائكة وكلمهم الموتى وحشرنا عليهم كل شيء قبلا ما كانوا ليؤمنوا إلا أن يشاء الله ولكن أكثرهم يجهلون. وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا شياطين الإنس والجن يوحي بعضهم إلى بعض زخرف القول غرورا ولو شاء ربك ما فعلوه فذرهم وما يفترون. ولتصغى إليه أفئدة الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة وليرضوه وليقترفوا ما هم مقترفون. أفغير الله أبتغي حكما وهو الذي أنزل إليكم الكتاب مفصلا والذين آتيناهم الكتاب يعلمون أنه منزل من ربك بالحق فلا تكونن من الممترين. وتمت كلمة ربك صدقا وعدلا لا مبدل لكلماته وهو السميع العليم. وإن تطع أكثر من في الأرض يضلوك عن سبيل الله إن يتبعون إلا الظن وإن هم إلا يخرصون. إن ربك هو أعلم من يضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم بالمهتدين. فكلوا مما ذكر اسم الله عليه إن كنتم بآياته مؤمنين. وما لكم ألا تأكلوا مما ذكر اسم الله عليه وقد فصل لكم ما حرم عليكم إلا ما اضطررتم إليه وإن كثيرا ليضلون بأهوائهم بغير علم إن ربك هو أعلم بالمعتدين. وذروا ظاهر الإثم وباطنه إن الذين يكسبون الإثم سيجزون بما كانوا يقترفون. ولا تأكلوا مما لم يذكر اسم الله عليه وإنه لفسق وإن الشياطين ليوحون إلى أوليائهم ليجادلوكم وإن أطعتموهم إنكم لمشركون. أومن كان ميتا فأحييناه وجعلنا له نورا يمشي به في الناس كمن مثله في الظلمات ليس بخارج منها كذلك زين للكافرين ما كانوا يعملون. وكذلك جعلنا في كل قرية أكابر مجرميها ليمكروا فيها وما يمكرون إلا بأنفسهم وما يشعرون. وإذا جاءتهم آية قالوا لن نؤمن حتى نؤتى مثل ما أوتي رسل الله أعلم حيث يجعل رسالته سيصيب الذين أجرموا صغار عند الله وعذاب شديد بما كانوا يمكرون. فمن يرد الله أن يهديه يشرح صدره للإسلام ومن يرد أن يضله يجعل صدره ضيقا حرجا كأنما يصعد في السماء كذلك يجعل الله الرجس على الذين لا يؤمنون وهذا صراط ربك مستقيما قد فصلنا الآيات لقوم يذكرون لهم دار السلام عند ربهم وهو وليهم بما كانوا يعملون ويوم يحشرهم جميعا يا معشر الجن قد استكثرتم من الإنس وقال أولياؤهم من الإنس ربنا استمتع بعضنا ببعض وبلغنا أجلنا الذي أجلت لنا قال النار مثواكم خالدين فيها إلا ما شاء الله إن ربك حكيم عليم وكذلك نولي بعض الظالمين بعضا بما كانوا يكسبون الله أكبر.
Well, I can speak generally in Ramadan, out of Ramadan, it doesn't matter. You know, at the end of the day, a Muslim has to be healthy, mentally, physically, and spiritually. In Ramadan, you'll need things that's going to give you energy throughout the day. Now, because you're fasting 18 hours, whatever you eat is not going to be enough. So my advice is hydration. Okay, you can handle food without food, but you can't handle without hydration. It gives you headaches because the body starts seeking fluids, and it seeks it in the brain and seeks it in the kidneys. So that's where you get headaches and you feel tired, etc. You get nauseous. These are the first few bouts of the few days of Ramadan where the body's going through detoxing, and then you feel healthier and more energetic as towards the middle and towards the end. So I would suggest you have foods like avocados, bananas and peanut butter, porridge, fruits for suhoor and for futur as well. And your eating habits for iftar, I love it because I saw a video of these Arabs with camels. You know, they got camels on the tables, and there's, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of these brothers, and I don't know where they are, and every table has got the body of a camel, and they're picking from it. And the next video is showing people and Muslims and non-Muslims who are just picking at this cauldron of an empty cauldron with the bits of rice that's left over it. You know, so don't eat too much. You're going to fall asleep. Don't cook biryani. Okay, you're fasting for 18 hours. You've got 5 or 6 hours to go. You know, don't stuff yourself with carbohydrates, you know, because you're going to fall asleep and you're going to be falling asleep in Tarawih. Don't bother even going. Just sleep it off and make sure you make fajr, you know. Fresh fruit and vegetables, watermelon, fantastic. I have to have my soup. You know, last night I made a nice dumpling soup with Chinese vegetables. Day before I made a chicken and vegetable soup, which I had for 2 days in a row. I'm not trying to be potentially humble here. I'm just telling you this is what I do, and this is what you should do as well, in the sense of just minute food, enough to fill your belly up. But I do stuff myself with watermelon for the next 6 hours, I must admit. Loads of coconut water because that hydrates you. If you're dehydrated, water won't cut it. It will take too long to get hydrated, not enough electrolytes. Coconut water, fantastic. Okay, what else I can say? Don't eat too much. You know, try and eat healthily, avocados, nuts, you know, proteins in nuts, short chain fatty acids in that regard. Again, you know, I have a soup, a couple of samosas, maybe a kebab like that, some watermelon, and then I'm hydrated and watermelon all the way through. And that's my suhoor as well. I'm just eating all the way until the end, and that's what I do. I don't eat again. I can't, there's nothing to start. If I get hungry, I maybe a small piece of halloumi cheese with watermelon again. I'm promoting watermelon because what watermelon does also, it contains a lot of L-citrulline. It opens up the blood vessels, detox processing, helps detox processing all the way through, inshallah. Yeah, coming on to the fiqh points is the the exception for not fasting is obviously if you're sick. Doesn't mean, oh, I've got a headache, I can't handle it. It means that if the fast is going to make your situation, your diabetes worse, your headaches worse, you know, you're vomiting all over the place, your migraines, whatever it may be, your sickness, what you have, your blood pressure worse, then obviously you've got to try to see a Muslim doctor. Obviously he understands about fasting better than a non-Muslim doctor. who will give you the hukum, say don't fast or fast. Okay, and the scholars have left the hukum onto the doctor. If the doctor says you can fast, then fast you can. If you fast, my advice is fast as much as you can. If you're feeling that you go all over the place, whatever, then break your fast. Allah knows there's no burden on the person, there's a place in the burden beyond its capacity. So on that point as well. If you're taking injections for this kind of thing, not a problem. Asthma pumps, not a problem. But if you're taking things that are water-based orally, then that's a problem. That's problematic. You can break your fast. The other thing I was going to say as well is also to take up hijama. Get a good detox in hijama. Yes, there's contention here with regards to does it break your fast or it doesn't. But the hadith that it does break your fast is abrogated by the other hadith that it doesn't break your fast. So, it's entirely up to you. And they say, I'll take the opinion that it breaks my fast. Well, you can't take an opinion when the Jumhur is something else. But some scholars say the best thing to do is not to do it if you're in doubt yourself. Yeah, but that's my advice, to take hijama done. You get detox physically. You eat less, drink plenty of water, plenty of coconut water. Obviously, you don't get much sleep. Try and do what you can. Have a sleep during the day. Some of us haven't got that luxury to do that. You're working during the day. You can't say to the boss, I'm having a few hours qailula, I'm a few hours siesta here. It doesn't work, yeah, basically. So in conclusion, in regards to that, spiritually, up your game. Healthily, up your game. And you know yourself. Let's be honest here. Let's keep it real. You know yourself. I know myself. I know how much Quran I read before Ramadan, how much I'm reading, and how much I'm going to read, and also after Ramadan. I know my prayers, I know about my fasting, I know about everything. Why? Because Allah knows about it. And because Allah knows about it, it should push you to do the best you can. Again, we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progression. So where you were before, try not to be that the first 10 days. Try to give it a springboard. Use the first 10 days as a springboard to get you to the next 10 days. And that, for the next 10 days, what you should aim for, i'tikaf. Try to use that 10 days to try to, it's like put the icing on the cake, fixing the edges of the thing that you made, making it nice and smooth everything up and up your game in that last 10 days. Basically.